Chicken. There. Hi everyone, Miranda here. So today I have a new type of video. Well, actually, people have done this before, but you know, put my own spin on it. This video is called Shelf Sitters. I am going to tell you in this video, basically some of the books that I have that are pretty popular that I have hauled throughout my 3 years on BookTube and that are still sitting on my shelf. They're keeping the shelf warm. I haven't read them yet. They're shelf sitters. Out of my like 300 and something books, I have a lot of shelf sitters, but I'm not going to talk to you about all of them today. I'm going to have a part 2 maybe. My first shelf sitter is Dreamfire. This book was so talked about like back last year in Australia for being like a really good book, and it was just in everyone's TBRs and everyone's chatting, and it was a good community for Dreamfire. It is still sitting on my shelf. Like I went and bought it because everyone was talking about it and I made it just sit on my shelf. It's a shelf sitter, people. Girl Online. Everyone has read this book and it is just still sitting on my shelf. Apparently though now I've heard some worse things about it because I think there's a sequel, but there was a ghostwriter that wrote it, not necessarily Zoella herself. Naughty Zoella. The Book of Ivy, I really wanted to dive into this because my friend Michelle loves it. It's about a brutal nuclear war and a small group of survivors eventually band together. More stuff happens years on. Now this girl has to kill the president's son. M.T. is another shelf sitter. This was kind of popular back in the day. I remember a few people were talking about it. Love vs. life, good vs. evil, war vs. welfare. After a solar flare wipes out most of the world's inhabitants, nothing is left behind but a desolate earth and desperate population. Existence is no longer a certainty, and with factions now fighting for the power to rule, people becoming reckless with their lives. It sounds a lot like Divergent, this book. Can you remember BookTube when this book was all the rave? This is Fire and Flood. I can remember when this book, everyone was talking about Fire and Flood, Fire and Flood. And now no one talks about it anymore. Taylor's brother is dying, he's got cancer and she's hopeless to save him, and now that she has to compete in the Brimstone Bleed, a deadly competition that will lead her through a treacherous jungle and scorching desert. Sounds like the Hunger Games again. Gambled of the Gods by Rochelle Mead. I dived into a bit of it, but then the writing was so small that I dived out of it, and I have the second one and they're just sitting there. They're just sitting there. Patrick Ness. Can you remember when this book was all the rage, BookTube? You made me buy this book. Dorothy Must Die is dying on my shelf just from sitting there without book reading, so it's dying of starvation and the eyes running across its pages. It's still sitting here. I read a bit, but it's still sitting here. These 2 books are still sitting here from this series, and Hotkey Books have sent them to me. I've read a bit of this book, and then this book's just sitting here. They're sitting here, the shelf sitters. The Wake series is a shelf sitter. All these books are sitting on my shelf and they're weighing the shelf down. I really love Amanda Hocking, and I have a lot of books dedicated to Amanda Hocking, so I still want to give these books a go. So I Won't Go Out is another shelf sitter, and I really still want to read this book because it looks so beautiful. And usually I don't read a lot of books, you know, about real life and situations and this, that, but this, I mean, look how beautiful this book is. And it cost me like 20 bucks. And it's Fault in Our Stars. I remember I went on a Fault in Our Stars craze when that movie came out. This book, Fallen Too Far, is a shelf sitter by Abby Glines. I love Abby Glines. She's such a cool author and I really love her stuff. The Impossible Knife of Memory. I know this author came down, I think, to the Melbourne Writers Festival like last year. I remember being like, oh my god, this is the author. I have your book sitting on my shelf and I haven't read it yet. I got it when it first came out. People have said it's like really good, this book, and I still haven't dived into it. I got this book because I'm a massive romance fan and I'm writing a bit of romance. I got this book. It's the first 5 books to fall in love with in all my life, and I think it's just like a short collection of stories. It hasn't been loved yet. I haven't given this book the love it deserves. And the last 2 shelf sitters that I want to talk about today are both by Julie Kagawa. I really want to dive into this. Apparently this is a kick-ass series and it's so sad because I've seen all the books out in the bookstores, but I still am too scared to buy them because I think I have 2 already sitting on my shelf that I haven't even read yet. Do you have any books that are sitting on your shelf? Let me know down below. What has been keeping your shelf warm? I'm Miranda, thank you so much for watching. See ya.